Well, safe to say we may have saved the best for last in week 9 as we are set for a huge rematch between the Elks and the Riders, the second of 3 meetings this season. Edmonton coming out on top in thrilling fashion last week. But we got to talk about the quarterbacks. These guys combined for almost 1,000 yards.
2 veteran quarterbacks put on a show last week in round 1. Cody Fajardo threw for a career-high 510 yards passing. When you add that to Trevor Harris's 385 and combine the 4 touchdowns each, that's almost 908 touchdowns between these 2 quarterbacks. Buckle up, this should be a good one.
Corey Mason, his team will be ready. They are 2-0 on the road this season. Wins over Calgary and Ottawa. Killam's 3-0 at home, so something's got to give. Over 30,000 in attendance here at Commonwealth Stadium for what some are calling the biggest game of the year. After the last time they played, it was the biggest game of the year. This is booted away, and we are underway to wrap up week 9, and it'll be Javon Leake at the 20. Leake kicks it up the middle, little bit of space, still going, and now he's going to punch it to the outside, all the way up to the 45. And the crowd here at Commonwealth loves that 35-yard return.
Yeah, you want to get the crowd engaged early, and there's projected over 30,000 here at Commonwealth for this one tonight. There's Cody Fajardo's season-long numbers, and again, 510 yards. The last quarterback to do that, throw for over 500 in a game, Ricky Ray, almost 10 years ago.
Got to go back to 2017 for that one. Edmonton will start on their own 48. Fajardo, 25 of 32 for 510, 4 touchdowns last week. Gets this one away. Completion to midfield, a couple extra yards, and a flag back by Cody Fajardo. Let's take a look at Edmonton's starting offense.
Up front, Carter O'Donnell is back at left guard. Joe
Major
Cooper.
foul, roughing the passer, Saskatchewan number 6. 15 yards added at the end of the play. Automatic first down.
Will make his first start. And then Austin Mack was the #1 target in that 500-plus game for Cody Fajardo last week.
Well, a big penalty here early, and this ball is marched all the way down inside the Rider 40. It'll be placed on the Saskatchewan 38. Edmonton has won 3 in a row. The Riders are 3-2 in their last 5. Fajardo will have 4 options out to his left. Now O'Leary Orange slides over. And that's where they're going to go. O'Leary Orange has it, finds the 30, and he lunges ahead with just short of a first down. Let's flash it back to that roughing the passer.
Now let's take a look and see where those extra yards came from. Full pressure, and just Jameer Thurman, a little bump, but head-to-head contact.
Fajardo trying to push it ahead. It was 2nd and inches. He runs into Thurman, but should have enough for the first down, and he does. Let's take a look at this Riders defense.
Leader on that group is James Waters in the sack department. He's got 5 on the season. Coming into the week, that was tied for the league lead. Antoine Brooks leads the team in defensive plays with 44, and you go back into the secondary. No Roland Milligan in this one tonight. Jonathan Edward will play his spot at halfback.
From the Rider 26, on the ground with Franken, breaks 1 tackle, pushes it ahead, and a decent pickup on first down. Got about half of what they needed. It'll be a 2nd and manageable here for the Double E.
Boy, did he get a great start to the season. You look at those first 2 wins for Edmonton in this 6-game run, and it was all Rankin. Almost 500 yards from scrimmage in 2 games. Justin Rankin. Those numbers have dropped off of late, but you know they're going to get him involved tonight.
He'll stand to the right of Fajardo. 2nd and 5 from the 21. Fajardo looks over the middle, has the completion, tackle broken down to the 5, first time today. 16 yards to Austin Mack. Austin Mack has been heating up as the season has moved along.
Yeah, it doesn't get much harder than 4 catches for 173 and a pair of touchdowns against Saskatchewan last week, and some explosion plays. I mean, between the 2 quarterbacks, there were 7 explosions over 30 yards. Mack had a couple. Cody Fajardo had 4.
First and goal from the 5 for Edmonton on the opening drive of the game. They'll give it to Rankin. Bouncing off a tackle, being held on to. got maybe a yard on the play, and it'll be 2nd and goal. This is what we're talking about with Justin Rankin through the first 8 weeks of the season.
Yeah, when you look at the projection and you look at the overall numbers, I mean, we're talking almost 1,500 yards rushing, and doesn't lead the league in rushing now because those numbers, as I mentioned, have dropped off. The BC Lions did a nice job in 2 games against him. But he's important, whether he has the ball or not.
They'll try it again. 2nd and goal from the 4. Rankin pushing ahead, and he's in. Touchdown, Edmonton. Justin Rankin starts it with a bang, and the Elks go on top early.
Well, this starts with a great return from Javon Leake to get the crowd here, and it's a big crowd at Commonwealth. Get them fired up, good field position, and how about Fajardo just getting Rankin involved in this drive at the very beginning and then capping it off with a touchdown that he just would not be denied.
Rankin finding the end zone, his 7th rushing touchdown of the season. Blanchard out for another, right down the middle, and it's 7-0 for Edmonton. It's a 7-play, 62-yard drive to start the game. Took just under 4 minutes and finishes in the hands of Rankin.
There's lots of fans to join in. It starts with a nice return from Javon Leake this drive. 37-yarder for Leake to get Cody Fajardo at some real nice field position. He got Rankin going, and I mentioned Rankin's important whether he gets it on these little runs or is the decoy in the play action game. Either way, he finished the drive off. 7 plays, 62 yards for the Major to get things started and get this crowd engaged.
To get the big crowd, now there's a lot of Riders fans here as well.
Absolutely.
They didn't like it, but you will hear some roars when the Riders do some good things this evening as well. Fajardo 3 for 3 on that opening drive. And now on the return here, Johnson, a little bit of room, and look at him go. What a response. He'll find midfield, and here he goes to the 40, to the 30. Will they catch him? Just there. Oh, Johnson. Almost a house call. 87-yard return from Johnny Johnson III.
Full special teams help here with this return team. He's going to get the blocks he needs. Johnny Johnson is really not touched on this sideline return between the numbers and the sideline. He is gone straight speed. Doesn't have to break a tackle. That's good.
Response for the Riders. Trevor Harris onto the field, having a fabulous season himself, and he starts 1st and goal on the Edmonton 9. Wally Conley in at running back. He'll give it to him. Conley pushing down to the 5, and he stopped right at about the 3-yard line. They'll give him 6 on that first carry. Let's take a look at the Riders' offense.
Zach Fry is out up front. Daniel Johnson will play left guard in his spot out of Purdue. And then you look in that receiving core. Keon Schaefer-Baker, a big part of last week, but one change. Sam Emilus was a late scratch here, and Daniel Weeb will play at the wide receiver spot. Del Duncan Busby will take Sam Emilus' spot, and you've mentioned Conley.
Tommy Stevens into the game. Trevor Harris to the top of your screen. Tommy Stevens, 5 touchdowns on the year. Looking for a 6. Got it. Is he there? Look close. And they're going to say just short for Tommy Stevens. But you just do it with him again.
You're down here with Tommy Stevens with a 4-yard average and short yardage play.
Gotta give it to him.
I think you give him one more crack at it.
Boy, I thought he was almost there the first time.
I'll tell you what, though, this decision by Corey Mays fires up a defense.
Stevens again to finish the job, pushing ahead. This time he's there. Touchdown, Riders! What a start to this rematch between Saskatchewan and Edmonton.
There were 8 lead changes in the matchup between these two teams last week at Mosaic Stadium. We've already seen 2 in the first 2 drives. What a response. Kicked off by Johnny Jackson, the third, on that big return. An 87-yarder. And wow, we're back on the roller coaster.
Pretty good roar from Riders fans. Absolutely. Here in attendance as well. Hale to tie it at 7. And you can settle in here for your Saturday night. Tommy Stevens, 6th touchdown of the year. How about his 36th career rushing touchdown? And the Riders with an immediate bounce back.
Watch, he gets the key block. You have to have that block at the point of attack. There's a watchy, number 41. Watch the kick out right here. That's the block to seal any inside pursuit on Johnny Johnson, and he is gone after that initial block. You need one right at the point of attack, right where you catch the ball. Make that first cut. They get it from Awachi, and away goes Johnson.
Kobe Williams making the touchdown-saving tackle on that one. Did not matter. Riders finish it in the hands of Tommy Stevens. There was a penalty for making contact with an official on Noah Taylor of the Elks. And the Riders will be ready to kick it away here as we near the midway point of a fabulous opening quarter. Leak takes it inside his own end zone. Finds the 20, pushes it out. Here goes Leak. Another good return as he stops just short of the 35. Cody Fajardo, what can you say about this guy?
Well, his getting on the road, hostile territory, tough to get the snap count when you're the visiting team at Mosaic Stadium, and the explosion plays were the big difference. Now, the Riders, on their side of it, have talked all week about communication breakdowns in the back end, that they got to be better at that. They had a couple of busts. Cody Fajardo found them. I'm sure they'll make the corrections. 25
big plays for Edmonton's offense this year. That's 3rd in the league. We're going to go on the ground. This time it's gobbled up immediately by the Riders front. Adams, among others, in there. Cody Fajardo, some elite company here.
Oh, absolutely. How about this name on there? Congratulations, Montreal with another win. And yeah, Cody Fajardo, when you take a look at those explosion plays that you mentioned, he had 4 versus the Riders. And this is from the guy that everybody says is just a check-down quarterback.
A game manager.
Come on. 510 is not a game manager.
2nd and 10 for Cody. He'll be wanting to throw here, and he will. Down the field, and that is broken up. Austin Mack went up for it. Could not haul it in.
It looked like Marcus Sales may have had a crack at this, cutting underneath this throw. He goes to high point. It maybe just distracted Mack, but how about the accuracy from Cody just to give Austin Mack a chance at it?
Hit him in the hands.
With that coverage coming underneath.
You're right about the distraction. Hey, right before that ball arrives, couple of hands.
And right in the face.
Weeb is back to return here for the Riders. Good kick from Julian. That's going to back him up. 67-yard punt. Weeb. Ended. Oh, that's a heavy blow just outside the 20 from the rookie, Jabome. I think we've got a physical one here today, Suits.
I think so.
A lot on the line.
Did you take the over?
No comment. This week about the crowd opening the Upper Bowl, over 30,000, and it has lived up to the hype, hasn't it, Suits?
Yeah, absolutely, and everyone excited about the rematch from last week. But also this 6-1 football team that they're proud of again here in Edmonton.
If you build it, they will come. 1st and 10 for the Riders from their own 21. On the ground. That one stopped short. Opportunity for Quali Conley again. We've seen him a couple of times this year with A.J. Alette a little bit banged up.
Yeah, A.J. Alette will miss his 3rd game of the season. Was put on the 6th game. That can come off early if he's ready. But Quali Conley played pretty well. Had just under a 6-yard average. in his touches when he played in those first 2 games for A.J. Ouellette.
Got a yard there, so it's 2nd and 9. Elks send 4. Harris has some time, gets it away. Tackle made, smack dab at the 30. Into the hands of Weeb for the 8 yards, but it'll be 3rd and short.
Now the Riders offensively are going to miss Sam Emilus. There's no question about that. But Daniel Weeb is going to line up at the line of scrimmage in this bunch formation, basically. Well, it's not a bunch, but back-to-back stacked formation out there for the receivers. And what an opportunity for Daniel Weeb. He's been doing a good job in the special teams and return game. Gets a chance to play receiver tonight.
3rd and inches. Tommy time again, and he's got it. Garnes will try to hold on to him. Good luck with that. Let's take a look at the Edmonton D.
Noah Taylor leads this group with 3 quarterback sacks. Got that long reach out of North Carolina. Also played at the University of Virginia. Dariel Jabome is settling in at that middle linebacker spot for Nick Anderson. Led the team in tackles last week. And I say we just give the defensive nomination out of Edmonton this year to Cordell Jackson. I mean, take a look at one day. Go online and look at his stat line.
I got it for you.
There is numbers all the way across there.
31 tackles, 2 picks, 7 knockdowns, forced fumble, 2
Crazy.
2 tackles for a loss. Harris in trouble, and they're going to get there and take him down. Kenneth Logan, his 2nd sack of the season.
Looked like Daniel Johnson, basically in a tight end formation here, is going to actually, he must have reported, because he's going to look like he runs a route, and off the edge, Logan just says, okay, well, I'm going to go one-on-one on Connolly. And if you're wondering how A.J. Ouellette will be missed, and this is not to blame Connolly on the play, but he's excellent in protection when it comes to the passing game.
A 2nd and long. They'll try to set up a screen on the far side. They'll get back to the 35. Into the hands of Duncan Busby, but the Riders will be forced to punt after picking up just 9 on that one.
Yeah, that's minimize the damage play, and maybe if you break a couple of tackles, you get the first, but you don't want to have 2 negative plays stacked on each other and then end up with real bad field position to kick it.
Chapman stands on his 20. Leak lurking back just inside the Edmonton 30. High kick, end over end. It's going to bounce and head out of bounds. Leak, no opportunity to get that one. Fajardo will have the ball when we return to Commonwealth.
And that has given a huge boost to the vibe around this team, and this city is ready for this team to be back on track in its winning ways. Guys, it's just nice to see, and we'll see if this continues. Chris Morris said that they opened up the upper deck because demand for tickets were so good. Winning helps, and we'll see where it goes from here.
How about Ed Hervey on the pregame with the panel as well?
Yeah, you gotta, if you didn't see it and you missed it, you gotta get it offline, because that was quite the interview.
This drive will start on the Elks 23. Fajardo. Little bit of pressure coming. Gets it away. Too much juice on that one. Was looking for Mack, but it falls incomplete.
Yeah, he was in between the underneath coverage and the deep player, but just missed on the throw. Think about this crowd. You go back to 2015 to 18, over 30,000. And as Ed Hervey said in that interview, the norm here was well over 30,000. For sure lower bowl. So they're getting back to that. Put a team on the field they can be proud of, and not surprised at all, this historic franchise.
2nd and 10 here for Fajardo. Goes over the middle, and that's a completion out beyond the 45 as he guns it into the hands of Cephas, his 17th catch of the year.
They love this bender route. He's the inside receiver. Push his man deep. Right over top the linebackers. 23-yard gain for Cephas.
Fajardo's 4 of 6, 59 yards early in this one. Cephas had a 97-yard game earlier in the season. Now Fajardo over the middle again. Another completion down inside the 40 this time. It's his go-to guy, Austin Mack. 27 more yards.
Got Javon Leake in the backfield as a changeup and a threat in that bubble screen in that last play. And Fajardo uses him as a decoy in the play action. Another bender route.
Leake in on this drive for Edmonton, and now they'll give him a toss. Finds the 40, tripped up down inside the 35. He's got some pep in his step today. Here's what Austin Mack has done recently. Is that good?
Yeah, well, you don't have to be real good at Matt to say 4 games for over 400 yards. That's over 100 yards a game.
It is.
Yeah, that's real good. That chemistry they built in Montreal is back here.
2nd and 6. Julian Grant goes up and gets it. That's another first down. And Edmonton marches on.
Right now, Cody's getting great protection in the pocket. Fajardo is able to go to his 2nd and 3rd progression. Watch this protection up front. He's in that pocket, sitting comfortably. No one in his face, no hands in his face. And even though there was pretty good coverage on that throw, he could put it right where he needed to.
They creep into the red zone. Do the Elks. 4 options out to the right for Fajardo. Now he's on the run. Cody's going to take it himself with a slide. Just outside the 15. Short pickup.
And an excellent decision to get down early and line up for 2nd down.
That comes with years of experience, right?
Well, you don't need to take that extra hit.
He's taken a few pops over the last decade. Not that time. Got 3 yards, 2nd and 7. Final play of the opening quarter, and it's been a good one. Riders send 4. Fajardo with time, finds Leake, and what a tackle. Tries to spin off of it, but nowhere to go. Marcus Sales read that extremely well. And Edmonton will likely have to settle for a field goal attempt when we come back. Tailgate was rocking earlier. Commonwealth. Packed house for the Riders and the Elks. The game, and it's been an air show across the league so far this season.
Yeah, first third of the season, 31 times a quarterback has thrown over 300 yards. 10 times over 400, once over 500, Cody Fajardo. And as a former defensive back, ouch.
Look away, Suits. As a play-by-play guy, give me more. Yeah. I love this air show. It's been great so far.
It really has, and the CFL has been averaging 60 points per game. Quarterback efficiency rating as high as it's ever been in the over 100-year history of this league this year.
Cody Fajardo with 3 300-yard games. Trevor Harris with 4 300-yard games. Here's last week's hero, Vincent Blanchard. 57 yards to win it last week. This one just from 24 for a 3-point lead here early in the quarter. And he knocks it through. Near perfect so far this season. It was 7-7 after the first quarter. What jumps off the page for you here?
Well, I still think they're going to kind of lean on Justin McInnis from the Edmonton point of view. We'll see how much Connolly is used in this offense. I'm sure the score will help to dictate that a little bit. Time of possession pretty even, and a couple of lead changes. a little slower pace in the scoring department than we saw last week.
I think we would be stunned, though, right, Suits, if either team really pulled away comfortably.
Yeah, no. This is going down to the wire. You know that.
Well, the last 4 meetings between these two teams were decided by 2 points, 2 points, 4 points, and 3 points. So they only know how to play close football games. Here's Harris. And he's got a completion up to the 50. Schaefer Baker, for the first time this evening, got his hands on the ball.
I mentioned those explosion plays last week. Harris had 3 of his own. He threw for just shy of 400 in that game last week. And right now is on pace for a 6,000-yard passing season. I know it's early. It's only the first.
We're not that early.
Yeah, I mean, you're looking at week 10, and, you know, on pace for a 6,000-yard season. That hasn't happened very often.
Close to 4 yards on that first down carry, and it'll set up a second and manageable for the Riders here, close to midfield.
I saw an interview with Paulie Conley this week where he talked about wanting to be a little more patient on some of the runs and let his offensive line pick up the angles, pick up the blocks they want, and then he will play off of that. He thought in his first couple of starts, he felt like he was rushing it to the line of scrimmage a little.
2nd and 6 for Harris. 3 options out to his left, looks to his right, now over the middle, almost taken away, but it's held on to by Schaefer Baker. What a bounce! And now he'll take it down to the 30 and step out of bounds. Right place, right time, Schaefer Baker.
Well, first of all, Paulie Conley makes a key block, or this play never happens. Trevor Harris gets hit in the backfield. That's one. Secondly, this is about concentration. This is about just wherever the ball ends up, whoever makes a play on it defensively, whoever's trying to cut underneath, just keep your concentration, keep looking at it, keep focused in a 27-yard gain.
Garnes had his hands on it. Couldn't hold on. Keyshawn Johnson, first time tonight. He's got it, pushes it ahead. Tackle made by Jackson. Close to another first down, couple yards short.
Let's go back one more time to that Schaefer Baker catch, and just want to show you this pickup by Connolly. This is the question for me when it comes to the difference between he and A.J. Ouellette. That's picking up the blitz up the middle and allowing Trevor Harris to throw the football. It works out. Garnes doesn't make the catch. Schaefer Baker does. Works out for the Riders, but that block was key.
The visitors in business. 2nd and 3 from the Edmonton 22. High snap. Tommy Stevens has it. He's going to push it ahead down inside the 20, and that should be a first down for the Riders. You see Tommy Stevens averaging, you said it, 4 yards per carry. This essentially is a short yardage guy. They put him out there in a 2nd and 3, and he picks it up.
Well, I think we can add to his resume now, short yardage guy and kill the clock at the end of game guy when you have the lead. Because he will do that on plays that you just saw where he'll fake it to that tailback up the middle and then follow him to get 4 or 5 yards.
Riders back into the red zone, 76% on the year coming in. Of course, no Emilus today. 5 touchdowns on the season. He has Harris down to the 5. And that one into the hands of Duncan Busby. And Duncan Busby expecting to see more action today with Emilus out of the lineup.
Yeah, well, Duncan Busby is going to move to Emilus's spot, and that's a hot spot. That's an inside receiver slots position where you're often in the short side of the field. He's in between. They put 3 into the boundary on this play, and he's going to be that in-between receiver who sits down between the defense, pushed by Schaefer Baker to take a couple of defenders with him on the deep route.
First and goal from the Edmonton 2. Tommy Stevens in there again, trying to push it through. This time they stop him just short, but they'll likely reload and go at it again.
Like Jabome stepped in there. I mentioned him in the intros. That middle linebacker playing for Nick Anderson. Injured a few weeks back. It's taken some time to settle in, but look at him scrape and then just make contact and hang on to Tommy Stevens until his friends could get there.
Now from the 1. He's a cheat code.
Yeah, he's nice to have in your fantasy. I tell you that, because he's going to get the football inside the 5-yard line. A watchy key on this as well at that right, basically tight end spot. He turns Noah Taylor away so he can't get inside leverage and get lower than Tommy Stevens, but he is a bull fighting through that line of scrimmage.
7 rushing touchdowns on the season for the big fella.
Looks like he has fun doing it too. You know,
I think he enjoys that role.
some quarterbacks look at that role and go, not a big fan. Not him.
It was an 8-play, 70-yard drive, finished off by Tommy Stevens. Once again, the best in the biz from a yard out.
After the play, we have 2 misconduct fouls. A 15-yard misconduct foul against 66 Saskatchewan, and a 10-yard misconduct foul against 42 Edmonton. This is Edmonton 42's second misconduct penalty, and he's been disqualified from the game.
Wow.
Wow.
Welcome back to Commonwealth. Noah Taylor has been ejected from the game. And we believe Killam might have just got flagged as well. This is a big loss. He's got 3 sacks on the season. Let's give you another look at it.
Ball's going through. Just take a look at the right side of the line here, and there's Jacob Brammers. That's the push from the rider end.
It's been a 10-yard misconduct foul against the Edmonton bench. It's a 10-yard penalty. We'll apply that on the kickoff.
Well, I don't know what Taylor did there.
Other than
Sell the call?
sell it, yeah. Other than embellishment.
All right, we've been told that it actually was for embellishment, and he's been ejected. When was the last time you saw that?
Not often. If you get 2 personal fouls, you're out. It doesn't matter the degree of the personal foul, but.
Well, then Mark Killam was obviously frustrated. He took a penalty. And now they'll try to settle in and regroup. Some adversity here for the Elks. Noah Taylor ejected from the game. Contact on the official earlier. And then embellishment there. I don't know if we've ever said a player's been ejected for a contact on an official and then embellishment.
No, and now you saw Corey Mace talking to Jacob Brammer on the sideline. He's making sure that he knows he's got 1 personal foul now. If he gets a second, he's gone as well. And I would suggest when we get to the halftime mark here, both these coaches will be talking about their teams about discipline. And let's see what happens here. There's big time
flags on the play as Javon Leake is demolished in front of the Edmonton bench on a 35-yard.
During the return, illegal block. Edmonton number 99, 10-yard penalty.
All right, so the only penalty here, and the 2 sides did come together on the Edmonton sideline, but it's an illegal block, and that's going to back Edmonton up with 9:42 on the clock here in the first half. And the pace of this game has slowed here with a couple of the penalties that have popped up.
Well, the officials had to meet for quite a lengthy bit of time there to figure out if there was a double personal foul.
Fajardo gives it to Rankin. Rankin pushing it ahead. And he'll take it out just shy of the 30. 5 yards for number 5 in green and gold.
Yeah, the extra stuff, though, I know both coaches will talk about this and make sure that their players understand. It's one thing to be physical, and everybody likes that brand of football, and when you don't like the opponent, that's fine too. But the after the whistle stuff will get you beat.
Edmonton 5 for 7 on second down tonight. This is a second and mid. Fajardo looks to his right. Pressure coming, and the Riders get there, and they'll take him down. Sanders and Waters both there.
Yeah, Caleb Sanders is lined up over Mark Corte, the center. He's right in that 4-point stance, 2 hands on the ground, and he's coming out of that backfield with a rip move and then continues on. Hard rip move with that right arm underneath Corte, and down goes Cody Fajardo.
Second 2-0 to the game for Edmonton. Julian averaging just under 49 yards per kick. This is another boomer. Weems got it back way up. Little bit of a bobble. That's a 67-yard kick, and now a flag. Weems breaks 1 tackle, and he'll take it out just beyond the 30, but there was a flag early in the return. It's against the Riders, and we've got more pushing and shoving. Oh, it's a good one, Pruitt, here at Commonwealth. Don't go anywhere. Where would you rather be? Well, nothing better than a healthy season for Kean Schaefer-Baker.
Yeah, just incredible. A couple touchdowns in each of the last 2 games. 8 catches, 185 in the game last week against the Elks. You know, and for me, the stat that maybe is the coolest of all of them is the money catches. When they need a first down, when they need to move the chains, he leads the league, in fact, or second in the league, but leads his team in those second down conversion catches.
Look at Tyson Philpott.
Yeah.
Over 1,000 yards already. Schaefer-Baker smack dab in between a couple of Philpotts. Having a great season for Trevor Harris and the Riders. 1st and 10 from their 15. Harris over the middle. Conley could not hang on. Had his running back down the field. Had a good look at it too, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. He saw the safety, Jalen Garnes, move, and Trevor Harris, with his drop, moved the safety and Garnes to the wide side of the field. He comes in there late, but he may have distracted Conley just enough.
Conley with 3 catches in his first couple of games. Riders are 3 for 6 on second down so far tonight. Midway point, second quarter. Packed house at Commonwealth. Harris, does he go over the middle again? No time. Bounces off of a tackle, pushing it ahead. And he's wrapped up before he can find a first down marker. That's Robbie Smith who gets the job done. He'll play more because Noah Taylor's out of the game.
Exactly. He's a rotation player for Noah Taylor. They will go in and out depending on the series. So Robbie Smith will see a ton of reps in this game. Down at the bottom of your screen, and he's going to work his way. He goes the long way to get this one. He goes up the field, he comes back around, cuts underneath, and he catches Trevor Harris on the other side of the formation.
First 2 and out of the game for the Riders. Leak and Luther wait back at their 40. Cabin. Almost by Leak, but he picks it back up, and he's hammered down. Couple of interesting moments there for the usually steady Javon Leak. Waited for it right through his arms. Edouard couldn't get there in time. 17. For more on that, here's Tom Gazzola.
Yeah, that was a roller coaster ride of a season for the Double E that year, and they started the year 7-0, like you mentioned, Dusty. They went on a 6-game losing streak. Then they rattle off 5 straight wins to end the season, go into Winnipeg, win the West semifinal, and then lose to Calgary in the West final. Of course, Michael Riley was on that team. We had Jason Moss as head coach. Brock Sunderland was the GM, but that team had Ed Hervey's fingerprints all over it.
Good field position here for Edmonton. Rankin contacted well back of the line of scrimmage. Couldn't make anything out of that one, and they lose 2 yards.
Yeah, the conventional way to get the ball to Justin Rankin, how they did it early in the season, you know, there's been a game plan, basically, I think, created a little bit by the BC Lions in their 2 games against Rankin and the Elks. And O'Leary Orange is in there. They're trying to get him to help out in the blocking schemes. On the other side, you've got Luther trying to help out there. Not getting it done.
Fajardo in his second and long. A deep drop. Gets it out to O'Leary Orange. Cuts it back, pushing it ahead. He'll get to midfield, not enough, and that'll be a third down for the Elks, and they'll be forced to kick it away once more.
One thing about this Elks team, though, and we talked about it in the pregame, was they found different ways to win. When Rankin's not going, their defense has stepped up, played great in the 3 wins in the middle of the early part of this season. And then last week, the passing game, the aerial attack from Cody Fajardo. One thing that maybe he has as a superpower over a lot of players is his resilience. Bouncing around in teams.
Playing with a chip on his shoulder.
No question.
High kick into the waiting arms of Reed, and he's barreled back just outside the 10. And that is where Trevor Harris will get the ball late in the half. Leonard Johnson with the special teams tackle.
So not a bad half so far for Paulie Conley playing for A.J. Ouellette. Showed you a real good blitz pickup. This is the injury to Ouellette. See his knee. That was last week. So he is now on the 6-game injured list. As I mentioned off the top, they could pull him off early if he recovers.
10-yard objectionable conduct, misconduct foul against Saskatchewan number 22. It's full 10 yards. First down.
DeMarcus Fields guilty of that. Both coaches at halftime here are going to settle down.
Yeah, you've got to, because you're losing players. I mean, there's a couple personal fouls hanging on a couple of riders right now. That was one of them you just heard for DeMarcus Fields. But also Jacob Brammer has one. You get another, you're gone.
After the penalty, Harris stands in his own end zone. Drive will start on the rider, too. Hand it off. Conley bouncing off a tackle. Still going. Those are important yards right there for Paulie Conley.
Yeah, good 1-2 effort there from Conley. You know, and I don't think any Rider fans are concerned about when he gets the ball in his hands, that he'll know what to do with it. We saw a good example of that, even though they're a little bit short. That's good yards on first down over again. Give Trevor Harris a chance to convert here and stay on the field.
Commonwealth crowd trying to get in Harris's head. Goes near side. Keyshawn Johnson. Might have been a drop straight up. Ford was there. Not sure if he got a hand on it or not.
I think because we're so surprised Keyshawn Johnson may have dropped one, that I don't think Terrell Ford was there early.
Oh, he might have punched it out with that right hand.
He came through and helped Johnson lose the handle there, but it looked like he took a peek up the field.
I was very stunned when Johnson just didn't hang on to that thing.
Just not used to that.
With the season he's had. Now Luther and Leak stand right at midfield. Chapman kicking out of his own end zone. Good kick. And taken on the near sideline by Leak. 55-yard kick, and Edmonton will take over close to the logo at midfield with just under 3.5 to play, trailing by 4 here in the first half.
That is an outstanding punt. To put it that close to the sideline without kicking it out and make Javon Leak play it the way he did, almost impossible to get a big return when you're into the sideline that close.
Leak will stay out there with the offense. So Rankin, at least for now, will watch from the sideline. Leak has 1 carry so far in the game, went for 4 yards. First and 10 from their own 53, and there are whistles and flags as that ball is snapped.
Procedure. Edmonton number 68. 5-yard penalty. Remains first down.
That is Jordan Murray, the guilty party.
There's a little bit of movement, not just with Murray on that line. It was a show blitz look from the Saskatchewan defense. They had 6 in the line of scrimmage and then dropped 2 out of there.
This is the 3-minute warning.
We have hit the 3-minute warning here in Edmonton. It's the first place Elks, second place Riders. Locked in a good one on Saturday.
It's safe at the moment. We got ourselves a 4-point football game. And you know what? Everything's been so fantastic today. You know who needs to play ball, though? Mother Nature.
What?
Come on, Mother Nature. Come on. Be
Where's
nice.
Father Nature?
We're basically
There are some dark clouds out there, Suits.
yeah, but we're saying we've said in the commercial we're not going to look at it. If we don't look at it, it won't happen.
Just forget about it. There's been barely any rain in Edmonton over the last couple of months.
Yeah, I've heard it's been tough here.
Record-setting stuff there. First and 15 on the 48. Fajardo felt some pressure, has a man wide open on the far side of the field. Now there's a flag. Julian Grant spins his way to a first down. I believe this flag is against the Riders as well.
Major foul, roughing the passer. Saskatchewan number 98. 15 yards out at the end of the play. And it's first down.
Desmond Evans.
Yeah, that's Desmond Evans. He's gonna run a little game up front with Mike Rose, and now he's in the B gap, and yeah, you can't do that.
That was a big blow.
Yeah. Ball's out, can't do that.
Ball sits on the Rider 30. As Edmonton looks for points late here in the half. Trailing by 4 at home. Fajardo, pressure in his face, throws to the end zone, incomplete. Fajardo was hammered again as well. He's looking for Luther, working against Edouard, and they'll have to do it again, 2nd and 10.
Well, I don't blame Fajardo for going to TJ Luther. He had a breakout game last week with over 150 yards receiving, his best game as a pro in the CFL, and try to test Jonathan Edouard out here. He ends up, the high player, number 31 Edouard, is going to turn. Now it's basically man-to-man, but he does a nice job of turning back to the football. Go back, find it, you won't get the PI call.
Edmonton already in field goal range, 2nd and 10. Pressure right up the middle. Fajardo dumps it off, and they'll wrap him up. Leak is taken down for a big loss on the play, and things just got a little bit more interesting for Vincent Blanchard.
Boy, that looked like it was set up nicely. A little screen play out there to Javon Leak, and you get him some space, and you know what kind of speed he has. Roberson's playing off the edge. More on that as the game goes on, but this one was just great recognition from Mike Rose to hustle over, read the play, and get there in the backfield.
Blanchard from 44 to make it a 1-point game. And that is up, and it is in. Edmonton cuts into the Riders' lead with 2:26 on the clock here in the first half.
Lots of time for Trevor Harris here. Over 2 minutes. Trevor Harris will tell you if he had 2 minutes last week, the Riders probably
That would have been enough, yeah.
to win. The way that game went back and forth.
As long as you have the ball last, you should be in a pretty good spot here tonight. Harris is 6 of 8 for 78 yards. It's not been a big first half for Trevor Harris, but he's got more time to cook right here. Silence the crowd once more. Schaefer Baker in the slot to his left. Now he's going to slide up and come in the block. Slides out. Harris under one man, not another. Brinkman finishes the job. And he'll get that belly rub going.
Malik Carney is the guy who makes the play, though. Brinkman will get the stat. Malik Carney gets the assist. He's going to be right here off the edge, and watch how he squeezes it down and then gets contained. That turns Trevor Harris back up to where Malik Carney's friends are. And that's a team meeting, defensive team meeting, right at number 7.
Second sack of the season for Brinkman. 2nd and 13 for Harris. Edmonton will send 5. Harris out into the flat. And Walker broke the first tackle. Needed 13. Not going to get it. Actually, it's Johnny Johnson who they went to that time.
Well,
And he only got 6.
Second quarter doesn't both teams' defenses stepping up. Couple 2-and-outs from Edmonton created by Saskatchewan's defense. Big play by Mike Rose on the last series. Now Edmonton's definitely got time, but his defense is playing pretty well in this second quarter.
Chapman, first year punter out of Auburn for the Riders. Boots this away from his own 32. Leak will take it cleanly after a 47-yard kick. He's got nowhere to go down the field quickly. Jackson Ford. It's a new season of breathtaking spectacle, shocking betrayal, and explosive drama. HBO's House of the Dragon. Stream now, only on Crave.
Many were describing last week's game between these two teams as breathtaking spectacles.
Just like that. Just like essentially the same thing.
Same deal.
This drive will start on the 23 for Edmonton. 3 receivers, wide side left for Fajardo. That's where he's going to go. And that one incomplete over the hands of Cephas. And it was trouble there for a little bit.
Well, you take a look at this defense, and Cody Fajardo is going to go and look at the tablets, look at what the defense for Saskatchewan's been doing. They've been playing a lot of cover 2 or cover 2 man, which is 2 high players and man-to-man underneath. So you take away those little 4 or 5 yard curl routes, but if you go deep on a double move, you got help over the top. There's your 2 deep defenders. Now it's the end of the half, so they're playing off.
2nd and 10 for Fajardo. And that tackle is made nicely as he gets it into the hands of O'Leary Orange, but Antoine Brooks right there, just a yard, and now they're going to have to kick it back to the Riders.
Now the way that you can beat that type of defense when you've got 2 high players is with your run game, your quarterback running. Often underneath you've got bump and run coverage, so you've got defensive backs and linebackers with your back to the quarterback. And if he takes off and runs, and Cody Fajardo can do that, that's one way. Another way is to split those deep defenders down the middle.
Jake Julian called back into work once more as the clock ticks down to 60 seconds. Weave waits, now takes, and he is gobbled up immediately. Terrell Ford. Wow.
Yeah, if you're starting defensive back in Canadian football, as Jackson Ford on the last punt from Saskatchewan will tell you, or Terrell Ford on this punt, no relation, will tell you, you got to play special teams as well.
Ford came blistering in there. And now he'll settle back in at corner, matching up against Weeb, who he just blew up on special teams. From the 27, Harris lays it out. Johnny Johnson nowhere to go. Same play that they ran just a few moments ago as the breeze starts to pick up here at Commonwealth.
Don't look at it. Don't look at it.
I gotta say, I noticed a pretty significant temperature drop right there. It has cooled down here on Saturday in Edmonton.
Well, now we're gonna look at it.
2nd and 10 for Trevor Harris. 8 of 10 so far in the game. Draw to Conley. Conley with a good burst. Will it be enough? No. And this is beyond Tommy Stevens' territory. They'll kick it away late in the half.
Yeah, these last 3-4 series for both teams have been 2-and-outs. Yeah, defensively, especially on first down, these teams have basically bent their knees, bowled their neck, and start hitting.
Time for Javon Leake to maybe break one more. He's back there with Luther. Chapman will let this clock tick down. Panel coming up live from Commonwealth at the half. As the rain starts to pour down here in Edmonton. Leake will take it out of bounds, and that will do it for the opening half here in Edmonton. We expected a tight one. We've got a tight one.
Yeah, we got a tight one. A little different script than last week, of course. Both quarterbacks started this game with long drives that ended in touchdowns. Both teams got good returns to start those first drives. It started 7-all, and then the defense has stepped up in the second quarter. Good tackling from the Edmonton secondary. Tommy Stevens with a couple of touchdowns in that first half.
Tommy Stevens, his 6th and 7th rushing touchdowns of the year. And he stands by with our Tom Gazzola.
All right, Tommy, a lot of smash mouth football in that first half. Right up your alley, I'm assuming. What do you like about it?
I mean, just battle two great football teams. Got to come out in the second half, keep executing, and hope to come out with a win.
What can you say about the animosity between these two teams that's developing? I know people that are fans of these two teams love the rivalry, but you guys on the field, how you feeling it?
Yeah, I mean, we're both built very similarly. Tough, physical, big, strong teams. So, yeah, we just got to keep going in the second half.
All right, thanks, Tommy. Appreciate it.
Thanks.
All right, Tommy Stevens and the Riders up 14-13 on the Elks. Let's send it over to Kate, Enoch, Milt, and Davis.
You know what, Tom? I love
Minute delay for the second half. You see both teams back on the field. If you are just joining, let's bring you up to speed here. The Riders with a 14-13 lead.
Well, it looked like it was going to be an offensive explosion out of the gate when both quarterbacks drove the field in their first drives for majors. That was a 7-all tie at that point. Then the defense has picked it up a notch, especially in the second quarter. Saw a couple sacks from Edmonton against Trevor Harris, a couple of sacks, or one sack from Saskatchewan going the other way. That was the opening drive for Edmonton, capped off by Justin Rankin. Couple of touchdowns and short yardage from Tommy Stevens. Field goal, that counts for our points. And a sort of a tale of two stories in the first half. First quarter, some offense. Second quarter, some defense.
Yeah, defense picked things up in the second quarter. You see the darker skies there right before the halftime delay. But I'll have to say, a lot of the crowd stuck around. Pretty impressive. A few more have moved up to the upper deck. Here's the exact time on the delay, 1 hour and 7 minutes, plus the 15-minute halftime. You heard the panel, and great job by Kate, the guys on the panel to fill over the last hour or so. More time for adjustments. So do you add in different adjustments, or you just make the regular adjustments?
No, I think you can add in completely different adjustments as long as it's within your structure as a team and within your playbook structure. So, yeah, you can make all kinds of adjustments, these coaches. And, hey, I'm a half-full guy. You're a half-full guy. So I'm pretty sure in that delay, beverage sales went through the roof.
Probably through the roof on the beverage sales. Great point, Suits. It'll be the Riders who get the ball to start the half. They will have the wind at their back in the third quarter, which means Edmonton will have it in the fourth quarter. But a big spot here. Second of 3 meetings between these two clubs. If Edmonton were to lock this one up tonight, they take the season series. If the Riders manage to get the win, then it comes down to the final game on the regular season schedule, week 21 in Regina. And we are underway here in the second half. Finally. This is picked up. Bertrand Houdon on the return, and he'll rumble ahead. Just short of the 40. Here's a look at Trevor Harris and his numbers in the first half of this football game. 8 of 10 for 84 yards.
Yeah, not normal, Trevor Harris numbers. Again, the defense is playing well in the second quarter, but, it did get things going in that first drive for sure. Remember, if you're just joining us now, Sam Emelis was a game day scratch. So they moved Del Duncan Busby to his spot, and Daniel Weeb is getting a chance to play in that starting offense.
There was an offside on Edmonton on the kickoff. A delay will do that to you, but the Riders decided to decline it anyway. This drive is going to start on the 39. 24 degrees as we get rolling here in the second half. Harris will start it on the ground. And Edmonton's defense is right there. Nowhere to go for Conley. Carney in on the tackle.
Good first half for Malik Carney. He made a couple of plays in that first half. Right off the get-go here, he's just unblocked off the edge right at the point of attack. It looked like there was maybe take a little more time for this offense to get back in rhythm.
Advantage defense on both sides?
I would think so, just until the offenses loosen up and they get their timing down.
So a loss of 2, 2nd and 12 for Harris. And he's going to take a shot way down the field for Johnson. And it's taken away. Terrell Ford's done it again. His 3rd of the season. And Edmonton's defense comes out to play after the delay.
Picked up where they left off in the second. He had a big first half in Terrell Ford. And this is just an athletic interception. There's nothing fancy about it. It's not about reading routes or anything like that. That's just allowing your receiver to go by, knowing you can make up the speed with your speed, and then just out-jumping Keyshawn Johnson for the football.
Just the 6th interception of the season thrown by Harris. Now Fajardo will get it out to O'Leary. Orange has a couple of blocks. Gets upended on the far sideline. There's Fajardo in the first half. $11 of 15 for 115. And we'll see what they run offensively coming out of the break. Second and 5 for Fajardo. Near sideline, Julian Grant had to come back to it a bit. And he is going to be marked well short, 3 yards short of a first down. And they'll have to kick it away. So nothing coming off that turnover.
Yeah, and, you know, when you get the sudden change, that's a big moment for your defense. The Saskatchewan defense steps up in that case. I thought it was interesting at halftime or in the break where the panel was talking about, is there an advantage for either of these teams? And Davis mentioned the home team is at home. Their locker room is more comfortable. You have all the things you need there. That's one thing. But I found it interesting about the veteran players and how much longer it might take them to loosen up.
Loosen up a little bit. Here's Weeb. Here's sideline. And a flag here. Looked like the back of his jersey might have been tugged ever so slightly. And we'll pick that up when we return. Terrell Ford with the INT to start the second half. That Leonard Johnson wanted to start the half.
Well, it gets the Saskatchewan offense out of the hole. This is a horse collar. It's not a real heavy horse collar. A soft one, but anytime you pull the ball carrier backward even a little bit, you're going to get called. Better field position for the Riders.
Johnson's been very good on special teams so far for Edmonton this season, his 2nd with the team. This is on the Rider 40 for Trevor Harris. Still only at 84 passing yards in the game. They'll go on the ground. Conley, look! Oh, the reverse hurdle! Did you see that? Spectacular stuff from Quali Conley. Wow.
Hey, we have seen a lot of great moves from tailbacks in this game. I don't remember ever a deliberate turn against the flow, go backwards on the hurdle over a tackler. Wow.
Put it on a highlight reel. Quali Conley.
He's loose, but he's young.
He's okay. He's one of the young guys.
He's one of the young guys.
Harris wants to throw here. Far side, drops it in there at the 40. And that is held on to by Duncan Busby. One of our halftime interviews.
Yeah, Duncan Busby got the communication from Trevor Harris on that pump fake just in time. Harris wanted him to hold up down that rail, and he gave him that little pump fake. He gets hit and pulled down. That's Carney again in the backfield. He got a 20-yarder, and Duncan Busby understood the communication at the last second.
Now the Riders looking good here. Work from the Edmonton 38. Back Conley again. Robbie Smith in on the tackle. That time for Edmonton.
Can I just make a request? Can we see Conley one more time?
I'm not opposed to it, Sue.
How about super slow-mo and just backwards hurdle and keeps his feet to get another 3 or 4. That's cool.
First year out of Arizona.
That's nice.
Just a couple of games played so far. People will know that name now. 2nd and 6. Elks show pressure. They drop back. Keyshawn Johnson, and it's incomplete again. Keyshawn Johnson, usually money in these situations.
Well, you know, I mentioned the first half. Keon Schaefer-Baker, his teammate, is 2nd in the CFL in 2-point conversion catches, or 2nd down conversion catches. Keyshawn Johnson is 1st in the league. And we've seen 2 of these now. One in the first half, one now, and you just don't see that from him.
Just 1 catch on 4 targets. Hale, 75% on the season. This one from outside 40, not even close. Yanks it wide to the left.
No point.
And that is through, and the Riders come up empty. And the kicker conversation in the province of Saskatchewan continues. But how about this guy?
Hey!
Conley up and over. This week.
Well, this is former Edmonton Eskimos and Elks that have hit the 500 mark. Warren Moon back in '83 and did it twice that year. Jason Moss in 2004. That was the year that AC had Anthony Calvillo had 6,000 yards passing, and of course Michael Riley as well. But that is a pretty cool list to be on.
1st and 10 from the 40 after the missed field goal attempt. On the ground. And once again, Rankin contained after a short pickup of about 3.5.
Another play by Antoine Brooks to get him down. Both teams starting out with their run game in this after the long break. It also helps the offensive lineman to just drive off the line of scrimmage and go try to run somebody over. But you think about his first 2 games, that's a quiet night for Justin Rankin.
Nothing beyond 5 for a guy who's gone longer than 10, 21 times. Now Fajardo. Austin Mack wide open, stays in bounds, pushes it ahead, down inside the Rider 50. Austin Mack's 3rd catch of the game goes for 17 yards.
Well, here's my real oversimplification of the night, because the panel talked about using the perimeter a little more, and Cody Fajardo, I think it was Milt, mentioning trying to get the ball maybe out to the sideline, out to the perimeter a little bit more, and the quarterback was listening. Austin Mack picks up a 1st down.
Austin Mack now over 600 receiving yards this season. It's at the bottom of your screen to the left of Fajardo. Heads up. Oh, Larry Orange bounces off of it, pushes it ahead for another Edmonton 1st down.
I think that was Marcus Sales coming from the outside. That looked like that was going to be some kind of collision. And Cody Fajardo was just right on the timing, because if he delays even a split second longer getting the ball out to the outside here, that's a blow-up shot. But Larry Orange had a chance just to turn a split second before the contact came and fought it off.
Larry Orange got a few pounds on Marcus Sales there, bounced off of him.
Yeah.
1st and 10 from the 38. Now they'll toss it out to Rankin. Can he find a little bit of space here? Rankin's longest run of the night. And another 1st down for the Elks.
Well, it's just a little toss. And I love this play call here from Jordan Maksimic, the offensive coordinator. Get them out on the edge. Get these offensive linemen into open area, into space, outside, and find some opposite color to hit, and let your running back pick his way through the hole. That gets Rankin in space.
Edmonton trailing by a single point. Now inside the 30. Fajardo bouncing around the pocket. Dumps it off to Rankin. Rankin trying to make one man miss. He cannot. Excellent tackle by Burgess Jr. Tavon Campbell, we should note, has been ruled out upper body for the rest of this game. That's why you're seeing Burgess in there.
Yeah, James Burgess Jr. out of Alabama State. There is Tavon Campbell. He is out. A couple of extra DBs are dressed for tonight, but it looks like we'll see Burgess on the corner.
Loss of 3 yards. So second and long for Fajardo. 3 to the left. Pressure coming up the middle. Cody goes over the middle. Has a completion down inside the 10 as he whipped it in there to Cephas.
Joshua Cephas is thrown open by this kind of back shoulder throw. Cody Fajardo is we got a great look at it here as he throws to the back shoulder because he sees that inside defender coming across, and it was Antoine Brooks, who loves to make those plays, leads the team in defensive plays. He was honing in on that one. So Fajardo with great accuracy put it on that backside shoulder.
Cephas with 2 catches, both of them over 20 yards so far in this one. First and goal from the 9 as Edmonton looks to finish. Fajardo in trouble. They'll get him. Taking him down inside the 15. It was Roberson who started it for the Riders.
Derek Roberson from Sam Houston has been in camp for a couple of weeks on the edge here, and he is going to make this play. He's got NFL experience. I think there's a lot of Rider fans that are real excited about this guy and what he may be able to bring. He played 7 snaps in the first half. He's rotating in, playing on the special teams. He played for the Titans, the Houston Texans, NFL games.
Second and goal from the 14. Fajardo on the run to his right, fakes the pass, trying to stay on his feet. They'll wrap him up and take him down at the 5. 8 yards, but nowhere to go with that ball for Cody Fajardo.
That was great coverage in the back end. Jameer Thurman finally gets there, but the coverage taken care of in the back end. Cody might have had a corner route, but Fajardo decides he doesn't want to try to fit it in a tight window there and tries to get what he can.
It was Thurman that finally took him down, tried to punch it out. Fajardo held on, and now Blanchard out for a chip shot and the lead for Edmonton, and he makes no mistake. And the Elks go back on top, 16-14. But the Riders defense holds strong after a pretty good drive from the Double E. How about Roberson? They're going to love this guy in Regina. Along with the CFL and its member clubs, the Purolator Tackle Hunger program has delivered over 27 million meals to Canadian families in need. Go to PurolatorTackleHunger.ca. That's PurolatorTackleHunger.ca to donate today. That is where they will be headed. Winnipeg on August 14th, and then the Hammer on September 7th. First and 10 for Harris. Looking for Conley. It was covered well by DeBlanco, even if he did catch it, but he did not.
You know, I don't think we've mentioned it yet, but this Edmonton defense coming into the week is ranked number 1 in the Canadian Football League. DeBlanco, big hits in that Kelowna series with BC in that game, and then the second game as well. Kind of kick-started this defense. But number 1 ranked defense in the league, and that's saying something because I've always thought it's been Montreal for the first.
Yeah. Elks defense, 24.6 points against per game. Riders have missed 9 straight second down opportunities. Not this one. Schaefer Baker goes up and hangs on in what I would describe as heavy traffic. Feeling it a little bit, isn't he?
Well, he knew he was going to feel the hits on this one. I guarantee you that, because it's in that danger area. It's going to be right over here. He has to get around the bump from DeBlanco and then find that spot, but he knows the DBs are coming downhill to get after him.
That's Kenneth Logan who popped him. That left leg did not look good on Schaefer Baker. Now he is sitting up and they're taking a look at it.
Grabbed the knee too. Looked like it. I thought initially he got hit in the hip and he absorbed that one, but Emilus already out of the lineup. Do have Deshaun Mims out of the University of Regina dressed in this game tonight. But the initial contact, it looked like he kind of absorbed this from Logan. But you see the cleat was in the turf.
He's up. And he is walking off.
That's a good sign.
Very positive sign. We'll monitor that situation. You're missing Emilus. Schaefer Baker out here for at least a couple plays. And a weird night for Keyshawn Johnson so far as well. Trevor Harris, 115 passing yards late in the third quarter.
And Keyshawn Johnson's fighting it a little bit.
Johnson, Schaefer Baker, and Emilus combined for almost 1,700 yards on the season coming into this game. Where's Harris go now? He's under a little bit of heat, drops it off to his running back. Conley with a little bit of space, finds a corner. Wally Conley down to the 30 before they force him out of bounds. Have yourself a second half here, Wally Conley.
Wally Conley, we've seen him between the tackles in that special move where he turned backwards and hurdles. Now watch just flat out speed. This is a check down, in trouble. The pocket is collapsing. Get it out to Conley, your tailback. And he outruns the angle here of Logan, who's a DB basically, for a 29-yard gain.
We mentioned they're missing a couple of receivers. Now where do they go? Well, maybe they just get Conley a little bit more involved. We'll go through again. Spin cycle. Moves it ahead. Down inside the 25 now. He didn't jump backwards over somebody, but that spin move was very impressive.
Yeah, especially after a 29-yard run where he was full speed to get to the boundary. And now watch this one. Inside handoff, and
he's just feeling it.
It's twice on Logan. And there's maybe a little bit of the patience too. Just a couple of reach steps before that spin. He's finding it nice, settling in nicely.
Gone to the sideline for a breather. Bertrand Hudon into the game on 2nd and 5. Harris down the field, and that is held on to. Ford is there. Doesn't matter. Mims has it.
Yeah, Deshaun Mims with Keon Schaefer Baker having to sit out at least 3 plays, maybe longer, while they assess him. And now Logan slow to get up. But Deshaun Mims gets a chance. 6th-round draft pick a couple of years ago for the Riders. Of course, everybody will remember his father, Robert.
As they take a look at Kenneth Logan Jr., we'll step away here. Second half action at Commonwealth. On the Edmonton 7. 1st and goal. Just let a couple of runs of Tommy Stevens pick it up. They mix something else in here. Trevor Harris, of course, stays on the field. He'll go to the bottom of your screen, way out to the right of Tommy Stevens. Now Stevens stands in the shotgun. Stevens waits, takes it, barrels it down just inside the 5-yard line. They'll give him 3.
Shotgun formation, so it gives Tommy Stevens a little bit of time to pick where he wants to take this football. He's just going to take his time coming out here. A little bit of a play action, but not much of a fake. He's just trying to find a hole. Maybe it's a cutback lane, but Malik Carney closes that door.
Boiler right, 3 Burns.
It'll be second and goal from the Edmonton 4. More of a typical heavy package in here now for the Riders. And Tommy Stevens pulling his way to the end zone again. Pushing through ball. That's out. Edmonton's on it. There's a flag on the play. We've got some things to sort out here at Commonwealth.
Kobe Williams comes up with it. 2 flags in the back of the end zone. Saskatchewan's indicating that it's going against Edmonton.
Too many players. Edmonton. It's half the distance to the goal and a first down.
Too many men on Edmonton.
Oh boy, let's see, because this looked like live anyway that it was a clean fumble. Ball is out. Edmonton recovers, and we're looking at a goal line stand there. And they'll have to start again. Let's take a quick look. Only allowed 12. And don't bring up 13 men when Saskatchewan's playing.
Finally, it's gone the other way. Killam's got to be frustrated with that. Noah Curtis is down on the field. They're looking at his left leg. Already lost Noah Taylor in the first half of this game. He was disqualified for taking a penalty for contact with an official, and then essentially got what would be an embellishment diving call, and that was the second one, and he was ejected. So they're already down one defensive lineman, and a good one, and now Curtis limps off the field. There's Taylor watching on. Obviously frustrated with probably both himself and maybe the calls. First and goal from the Edmonton 2. Tommy Stevens already has 2 touchdowns in this game. Looking for the hat trick. Not going to happen there. Little bit of a stumble. Gets it down to the 1 on a slip. And they'll have to line up and do it again.
Could be a little bit of the first half rain that is playing a bit of a factor here. Did he just slip trying to... Yeah, right there. Just lost his footing.
They're not going anywhere else, though.
No. Try the left side.
Riders looking to finally finish this thing off. Tommy Stevens. Is he in? Yes. Touchdown Riders. A hat trick for Big Tommy.
That Edmonton defense made him work for this one. But the Riders get it done. Tommy Stevens gets it done. And remember, they started that short yardage big guy package when they were just inside the 5-yard line. Got it down to there. Got the penalty after the fumble. So caught a break there if you're the Saskatchewan Roughriders and their fans. But Tommy Stevens said, hey, we put 13 out there. We'll take advantage of that.
How much do they love Tommy Stevens? They took Trevor Harris off the field at the 7-yard line. That's how much trust they have in Tommy Stevens. And now Trevor comes back out. Harris will be out there as they're going to go for 2. They lead by 4. They want to lead by 6. Conley up the middle, and he'll be stuffed. And that gets a roar from the crowd here in Edmonton. Tamari Fox in the middle of this one. But the Riders come away with a lead through 3 on 3 touchdowns from that man, Tommy Stevens. Capped off a 10-play, 70-yard drive that took 4.5 minutes. Buckle up. 4th quarter should be a good one here in Edmonton. In a close game, it's a different style of game than one we saw last week.
Yeah, it really is a different type of game, and it feels like, you know, it's a real defensive struggle at times in this one. But we could end up with a quarter to play with a very similar score to last week. I think the biggest difference is probably last week there were 7 explosion plays. 7 plays in the passing game for both these teams combined over 30 yards. Tonight, there has been none. So you have to work for every inch, work for every yard. We've seen hat trick touchdowns in 3 yards rushing from Tommy Stevens. Three 1-yard touchdowns for that short yardage team of the Riders.
If you were in a jam at quarterback this week in CFL Fantasy and had to start Tommy Stevens, you're loving every minute of it. 3 touchdowns in this game. And we are underway, 4th quarter. Leak takes it just outside the 20. And they will contain him once again. He picks his way out to about the 35, and that is where Edmonton will go to work.
So last week's game finished 36-34 with the walk-off field goal. 36 or just over 30 points for both these teams. Very realistic with a quarter to go as the offenses make adjustments and figure out what's going on defensively and try and take advantage of it.
The Riders this year 4-0 when leading heading into the 4th quarter. We'll see if they can make that a perfect 5-0. Fajardo will try to prove otherwise. On the ground, Leak spinning ahead, got to about the 44-yard pickup, second and manageable for Fajardo.
Interesting during the break in our interview with Javon Leak that he talked about how they rotate Leak and Justin Rankin back and forth, that the coaches will talk to him and say to Rankin, you'll get 3 series and then we're going to put 1 in for Leak. They're great teammates, great mutual respect in the locker room. And it's Leak's turn.
They've combined for just 36 yards so far in this one. And Evans and Murray are going to point back and forth at each other.
Well, they'll check, the replay center will check this in real time to see who moved first, if there was movement.
Saskatchewan number 98.
Yeah.
5-yard penalty remains, second down.
Says he came out pretty quick. That was explosive stuff.
Yeah, it was off the edge, and he was indicating that number 68 Jordan Murray right there at right tackle moved first, but we saw a few replays and that's not the case.
So 2nd and 1, Fajardo looking to handle this himself, and he'll push it over top of the pile, and that'll be very close to a first down. Let's see where they spot this. I think they've spotted it, and it will be a first down. Fajardo stretching out a little bit, and they do move the chains. Fajardo 17 of 21, 169 yards. Favorite target so far tonight, O'Leary Orange. Has Leak out to his left, goes over the middle, way high in the air. Luther went up for it, couldn't bring it down.
Mentioned Derek Roberson in the last series where he registered his first sack in the Canadian Football League. Well, let's go back to 2019, week 16, when Roberson registered his first sack against Drew Brees as a member of the Tennessee Titans, and he got a second against Drew Brees in that game. That in the 4th quarter, down to the 1-yard line.
Not a bad way to make a name for yourself. 2nd and 10. Fajardo pressured again. Now he's on the run. And he finds a man down the field. Great job by Julian Grants to kind of box out the defender and make the play.
Well, it looks like Derek Roberson was going to be right in the throwing lane here off the edge against Murray. He swats his hands down, but the heads-up play by Cody Fajardo to climb up in the pocket and stay behind the line of scrimmage on that throw.
They'll get a fresh set of downs after a 26-yard completion. And now from the Rider 38, high snap. Fajardo gets it away. Luther stays on his feet, takes it down inside the 20. And the crowd loves it here in Commonwealth.
Talk about first. TJ Luther's first 100-yard 57, mentioned it off the top. This is last week for TJ Luther was your I belong game. That game that you have where you go, yep, I belong.
Looks like he's a real deal.
He's the real deal.
Just inside the red zone, Edmonton rolls on. Now it's Leak. Can he find space? Broke one tackle, pushed it up ahead to the 15. A hard 4 yards for Javon Leak. Now Sanders trying to fight him for the football. TJ Luther, monster game last week. 157 yards, and then Austin Mack with 173.
Yeah, Austin Mack over the last 3 games we showed you, it's well over 400. I'm sure TJ Luther's going, he's working with this guy in practice. He's learning from him. He's learning how to get in the same page with Cody Fajardo. And targeted, I believe it was 11 times in that game last week. There's trust there.
Fajardo looks to his left, throws quickly, and it's knocked out. Had O'Leary Orange, but Edouard was there to make the tackle and knock it loose.
Jonathan Edouard out of Carleton has been playing this game for Roland Milligan Jr. and has been holding his own and then some. Couple big plays here from him, and this is maybe the biggest. That little sit-down route that we see so many times from every offense in the league to O'Leary Orange, and he just played the play and jumped it.
Edmonton will have to settle for another short field goal attempt for Vincent Blanchard. And he puts it through, and once again, we've got a 1-point ball game.
That's a big play on the goal line like that. That would have been a first down if Edouard doesn't get that knock.
Great play by Edouard, as Clint mentioned. He's had a pretty good game so far, and it's a tight one with just over 10 to play. A couple of highlight reel plays from his replacement tonight.
Well, first of all, this was unreal. I'm sure it's happened before. I don't remember seeing it, but to do that and keep his balance, and then another spin move on the very next series. It's great timing there. Both those plays, by the way, on Kenneth Logan trying to make the tackle. And I only bring that up because Kenneth Logan's basically a DB. He's 6 foot 210, so he's agile like Connolly.
Saskatchewan will start on their 40 after the field goal. 3 receivers out to the right for Harris. That's where he's going to throw, and he's got a completion down to the 50. It's Duncan Busby who hauls it in, and that's a big play to start the drive.
That's the thing about these 2 quarterbacks in this game tonight. It really doesn't matter how the game is going, whether the offense has not really found a lot of traction, if it's been a hard slugging against the #1 ranked defense. They're going to keep their composure. They're going to keep with it, and sooner or later, they're going to get in that groove and get a drive together.
21 yards to Duncan Busby. He's got a team high 66. Conley trying to bounce it to the outside. Cordell Jackson is down there to make sure he doesn't do any significant damage after picking up a couple.
Andrew Harris is his running back coach. I'm sure he's learning from A.J. Ouellette, but Andrew Harris was one of the best in the business at that patience at the line of scrimmage. And, you know, Connolly looked like he rushed that one a little bit and then got right in behind the offensive lineman, running almost right into his back, and then bounced outside. Had he bounced a little earlier, probably picks up 6 or 7.
Harris needs 9 more. Elks set 4. Harris escapes. Wide open. Drops it in there. Just inside the 25. He's got Johnny Johnson.
Trevor Harris feeling the pressure and then looking backside on that deep post route from Johnny Johnson. Remember, he opened the game with the big return to answer. Little double move right over the middle and a 27-yard gain to get a new set of downs.
Johnny Johnson had just 40 yards on the season coming in. He's got 33 more tonight. 1st and 10 from the 22. Out into the flats. Johnson again, near sideline, diving towards the end zone. say he stepped out at the 6.
Every score and potential score is automatically reviewed. They'll be looking at this to see if he's out of bounds or not. But how about this burst? Just a little bubble screen, get some blocking up front. Nice kick out block on Terrell Ford, and where's the step? There it is. 7-yard line, going in. Stepped on the white stripe.
Riders 3 for 3 inside the red zone tonight. For now, it'll be Trevor Harris. He'll give it to Conley. He'll grab his feet, and they'll take him down.
Trevor Harris has been excellent in the red zone this year. This offense is hitting at 19 of 25 coming in, about 76% when they get inside the 20. Some of that has been Tommy Stevens. It certainly has tonight. But Trevor Harris at the helm has been excellent when the goal line, or the box, as a lot of the guys call it.
I'm a little surprised that they bring Tommy Stevens back out again. He's been very efficient so far tonight. They're a little bit further out last time, but Trevor Harris having a heck of a season. His job to finish this, or at least get him closer. Looks to his left. Corner round. Drops it in there. Touchdown Riders. Keyshawn Johnson. He's got one. It's his 5th of the season.
That's how you make up for an off night. It's been an off night for Keyshawn Johnson. Everybody has it. But just to the left of your screen, he's running a corner route right there. And then he's going to flatten this out and get separation and then tap that left toe inbounds.
Riders are going to try to make it a 9-point game here with 6:40 on the clock.
Idea makes it a 2 possession if you make it. Edmonton understands that.
It's a big couple of points. Johnson moves in behind his quarterback, now slides back in the block. Harris looks to his right, throws in that direction. Got it again. Keyshawn Johnson on the other side of the field.
Exactly the same play. And I bet you they went in the huddle and said, just, hey, what we just did, do it again, but do it from the other side.
It worked. Keyshawn Johnson coming up big when the Riders needed it the most. A 6-play, 70-yard drive that finishes in just over 3.5 minutes and leads to big 8 points. Because he's very sure-handed, but he comes up big here.
Yeah, when you're playing football at this level, you're working on your mental discipline all the time. And what Keyshawn Johnson after this game will remember, he's going to remember those 2 or 3 drops. It's going to bug him until next week. But this makes it feel a little bit better. Back-to-back plays, 2 tough catches, kept the feet in bounds, salvaged this game.
And the Riders have a bit of a cushion.
Fell off the tee.
What happened there?
Well, I just wonder why it was stopped. It looked like the ball fell off the tee.
The ball fell off the tee before being kicked. We're going to redo it.
And then he still kicked it.
Right, but as it's falling there, why?
The whistle did go as soon as that ball fell back. You're thinking this should have been play on.
Well, just keep playing.
Yeah.
I mean, some guys, sometimes they'll have someone hold it if it's a wind day.
It is a wind into the face of the Riders and hail. See if they can get it away cleanly this time.
That's another text to head of officiating Darren Hackwood to get
Need the information on this?
Yeah, we'll get it for next week.
It's a short kick. And be taken on the far side by Leak, and he safely steps out of bounds. And now we've got a 2-score game, 2-possession game here. Leak still talking trash to that far sideline.
Well, time is important here, too. I mean, there's lots of it. But Cody Fajardo knows he needs both. Needs to score the major and then get in field goal range or vice versa. So fishing with the time in and out of the huddle is going to be important.
And they find time to get Rankin maybe going. He's going to slide out to the left. Now go down the field. That's where they're going to throw. And Rankin's got it at the 40. Stays on his feet. Takes it to the 30. Rankin finally taken down just inside the 25. And I guess, Suits, they can get him going.
Yeah, get him going. Get him in the passing game. You saw him the way he left the backfield. He left knowing what the road was and that he was going to be the primary. So he's coming out of the backfield full speed, and he's leaving saying, I'm going down the middle. 51-yarder with some yak to add on to it after the catch. Get him involved.
Longest play of the game. 1st and 10 from the 21. Fajardo with pressure in his face. Gets it into the hands of Austin Mack, and he takes it down to the 5. You said there's time, but there's not a lot of time. They're moving quick.
Yeah, moving quickly. Looking at the major now, obviously inside the red zone. This play, though, Cody Fajardo has to alter his throwing angle because there's a rush in his face, and he's got to kind of throw around that rush. Gets it right to Matt.
1st and goal from the Rider 5. Edmonton looking to answer back. Fajardo over the middle, got it! Touchdown, Edmonton! T.J. Luther! And the double E aren't going away just yet.
Early movement from the safety, and Jackson Ford shows pre-snap where Cody Fajardo wants to go with this football. When he sees the safety starting to move to Ford's right, he wants to go backside seam just over the crossbar and test to see if Jackson Ford can get back to that. And he wasn't there in time.
Cody probably relieved he got it up and over the bar. Caused some issues for him.
A couple of times.
What a game shaping up here. Great finish on the way. Blanchard again. And it is a 2-point football game. A big 2 points that the Riders got their last time down the field when they went for 2 after the Keyshawn Johnson touchdown. Don't go anywhere. Saturday night's got a fabulous finish on the way. Fajardo, Luther, touchdown. 3,000 career yards. For more on that, let's send it down to Tom Gazzola.
Just 56 more yards Harris needs for the milestone to get to that 40,000 mark. He moved into 12th place all-time earlier in the season for yards passing in the CFL, past Tom Clements, and now he's chasing down Tracy Ham. Ham sitting at 40,534, guys, and if he wants to crack the top 10 this year, he could do it. He would have to knock out the legend, Doug Flutie. 41,355 is what Flutie has, so a little bit of history in the making for the future Hall of Famer in Trevor Harris.
Would just be the 12th quarterback to hit that mark. Could do it on this drive. Big kick. And that one is going to bounce all the way through the end zone.
Yeah, no point, and ball on the 40-yard line. Good field position. Good decision. The only thing I'll say about that is that the returners, if that somehow gets backspin and doesn't go out, it's a live ball.
It was coming in pretty hot, though.
It was coming in hot.
Yeah.
Good decision.
Easy one to let fly through, and all of a sudden, excellent field position. And the Riders, with a 2-point cushion, will have the ball on their own 40. Bit of a mistake there from Edmonton. Harris, Conley standing to his right. That's where they're going to start it. Stays on his feet, cuts it back to the line of scrimmage. Not much further, probably a yard.
So this is the big down right here. One of them for sure. By the way, a couple of interceptions in back-to-back games for Meyer as well. This Edmonton defense leading the league in takeaways. But this second and long is, of the 6 plays that determine the outcome of the game, here's one of them.
They've played close ones. Last 4 games combined, just 11 points separating these these two teams. Had a timeout called here at Commonwealth. Edmonton called the timeout. The game clock on your screen is going to be reset to 3:50. Get 17 seconds back here. You said this is a big down.
Oh, no question. And does Edmonton decide to send pressure here, try and get Trevor Harris off his spot? Or are they going to show that they're going to blitz and drop out of there and play coverage? Either way, it's sometimes pick your poison against a veteran quarterback. But you never know. You get one guy free. Get the free hitter there if you're J.C. Sherritt. You get a chance to move him off the spot. Maybe the throw isn't quite as accurate as he'd like, but this is a biggie right here.
Crowd at Commonwealth, many of them to their feet. Elks have 3 on the line. Harris gets a look at things and resets. 2nd and 9. Edmonton will send for Harris. Dumps it off. Tackle made by DeBlanco. As Trevor Harris went to his running back, and DeBlanco was on it. Conley had nowhere to go.
Well, this is straight man coverage. So J.C. Sherritt says we're going to play man-to-man, and that means that DeBlanco's got the back out of the backfield in Conley. And he tracks him there. Conley came out the right side of the offensive formation and then tried to cross the face of DeBlanco, but he was in position to cut him off and get there to make the tackle short of the first down.
Conley's been great tonight, but DeBlanco was all over it. Chapman, big kick, 50-yarder. Leak as fast as he can, takes it out beyond the 25. Well, a different type of game, but we're getting to the same
Similar score.
type of finish.
And it might be a similar score. 3 minutes left in our game is enough time for 2 or 3 possessions. Who gets the last one is the question. Last week it was Cody Fajardo who got that final possession, drove down and got into field goal range. It was a long field goal. This week, can the Rider defense get him off the field and get the ball back?
We'll discuss the Riders' kicking game if it gets there. We have hit 3 minutes here in Commonwealth. Excellent finish on the way. Don't go anywhere. Get the ball with 3 minutes left. His team down by 2. And we saw what he did last week late.
Yeah, went to work, needed a drive to get into field goal range and got it done. I believe there was a negative play in that drive as well that he overcame. And he took a sack at one point, but Blanchard with the 57 walk-off to win it.
This drive will start on their own 27. Fajardo on the run. Now down the field, trying to come back to it was Julian Grant, and he could not get there. There's a flag back, and it's going to be a hold against Edmonton.
Oh boy, this is big. Take the penalty, first down over, but you're looking at first and 20.
Edmonton number 53. 10-yard penalty. Remains first down.
I believe it was Bordner.
Sometimes feel for the offensive line when often we only circle them when this happens.
Not very often you go, what a pickup by the offensive lineman. All right, first and 20 for Fajardo.
It is what it is.
Riders send 5. Pressure gets there. Fajardo on the run to his right. Can he find anything? He not. Has to step out of bounds after a short pickup, and it's going to be second and long.
Get some of the penalty yards back. And this is Fajardo's game. He's not concerned with the fact. In fact, he'll throw it behind the sticks here if he has to and hope that his receiver can get the yak yards necessary, yards after catch necessary to get up there and get a new set and keep this drive alive, keep it away from Saskatchewan. But find different ways in their 6 wins.
Pressure from the Riders disrupting things on the last play. They've got 6 on the line now. They're going to send them all. Fajardo deep drop. He's in trouble and they get there. Riders defense storms in and crushes Cody Fajardo. No chance.
It wasn't just that they were going with pressure, the Rider defense. It was the type of pressure they have in the stunt and movement on the defensive line. I mean, we're talking a bit of a stunt here in the blitz to completely fool the offensive line, make sure all the blocks are picked up, and a free hitter right down Main Street.
Josh Woods gets credit for the sack. Julian, big kick. Weeb's going to take it just inside the 45. And he takes it all the way back onto Edmonton's side of the field. And the Riders find themselves in a pretty good spot. However, a late flag coming out. And we'll see which way this one goes.
Right down there. The flag is right by the Edmonton bench.
Edmonton celebrated.
After play, objectional conduct. Saskatchewan number 12. This is a 10-yard penalty. It'll be first down, Saskatchewan.
Malcolm Bell, objectional conduct, and that backs them up significantly back onto the Riders' side of the field at the 50.
Well, the Riders were looking at trying to bleed the clock from the positive side of the 50 into Edmonton territory, bleed the clock down, get a couple first downs, kick the winner, pad the score, and get out of here with the win. Now they're out of field goal range and need 2 first downs to get there. Tommy Stevens in there.
And it's Tommy Stevens in to try and seal this thing away. He's going to hang on to it right up the middle. Almost has enough for a first down. Looks like it'll be 9.
Slow to get up.
Oh, and he comes up with a limp. Going to hang in there. At least try to pick up this first down.
What a run, though, on first down here. Cordell Jackson coming on the blitz out of the secondary. Malik Carney, he tried to crash from the end position and try to soften up that edge, and Tommy Stevens just hit it.
Brinkman is down. They're looking at his left leg. Stevens is trying to walk this off. And I wonder if Stevens can pick up this first down. Do they bring Trevor Harris back in, maybe to seal it away?
I'll show you that run one more time on first down, because Thomas Bertrand-Houdon makes a huge block here to help out. Watch number 30. Step up. Stevens will fake to him there, and watch this hit. Look at that block right there. That's on Malik Carney. Without that block, they don't have a play.
Big let's go Riders chance here in Commonwealth. They're always among them, aren't they? Riders fans travel well and live everywhere.
And Tommy Stevens just said, it's a long way from my heart. Let's go.
He'll be okay. Second and inches. Has 3 touchdowns in this game already. Working on sealing this one away. Pushes it ahead. That'll be enough. And the Riders have themselves a first down with a couple of minutes left.
Keep in mind now, this is game 2 between these 2 teams. And they will play one more time the last game of the season. So points for and against likely won't be a factor. Someone will win this series. Could be an interesting game, that last game of the regular season.
We're not talking about final game for either of these teams. We're talking about final game on the CFL schedule, these two teams in Regina. Stevens from the shotgun. Here he goes again. That time only got a yard. And it'll be 2nd and 9.
Keyshawn Johnson getting his nose dirty in there too. In this,
Edmonton.
I'm not going to call it a short yardage setup because they're not looking at short yardage here. They want chunks on the run. And now Trevor Harris will come back in on 2nd and long. But they'll even bring in their receivers to do a little work off the edge here. Keyshawn Johnson making sure that Cordell Jackson can't get there.
One of the areas where they miss Emelis. He's an excellent blocker as a receiver. Trevor Harris. Almost it right here. 2nd and 9. Outside of field goal range for now. Can he change that? Harris gets it away. There's a flag. And Trevor Harris is down. And is this going to be against Edmonton? Harris was down late. Roughing the passer.
Automatic first down.
Tamari Fox.
I don't know about that one.
Oh, it's a massive call in this game, though, because they would have had to make a decision on whether to kick the deep field goal, which Hale has not hit this year, or punt it. Instead, that penalty on Fox really hurts the home side. Stevens is okay. He's back in here. Pushes it ahead again, trying to move the pile or get a couple of yards, and it'll be a 2nd and 8.
I don't know about that penalty. It must have been called because the official felt it was just too late. And Fox didn't realize it.
Fox doesn't know how late
he doesn't know he's late because the ball's out. But it was late enough because it wasn't below the knees.
Got him around the waist.
Got him around the waist and kind of just pulled him down. So we'll call it a soft one, but I guess it was late was the reason.
As the rain once again fires up here, Harris looks to finish these guys off. They'll run a draw, a fitting finish. Conley up, not over. This time Logan got him, but that's a first down for the Riders.
Kenneth Logan is not happy. It looks like from his own coaching staff. What a great call by Mark Mueller to go with the draw in this case when you're 2nd and long to get. You see the Sam linebacker and Logan dropped way back into the middle of the field, an 11-yard gain to eat up more of this clock and get down in the chip shot range in case you need it. May not.
Both teams have a timeout. Clock ticks down inside 50 seconds. Stevens, he slips, and they'll hop on him right away. 2nd time in the half that Tommy Stevens has slipped. And now we've got some pushing and shoving, multiple flags, and this game might finish the way that it started.
Logan Furlan was in the middle of that one with Malik Carney, it looked like. See the officials sort this out.
Another tight battle between these two clubs.
Major foul, unnecessary roughness. Edmonton number 2. 15-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
Malik Carney, unnecessary roughness. And there will be some discipline things that Mark Gillum, who got a penalty himself tonight, will need to clean up.
Got a penalty after Noah Taylor was thrown out of the game for his 2nd personal foul. And it was for embellishment, which I understand the frustration from Coach Killam there, but again, maintain some composure and discipline.
Victory formation for the Riders on the road. Trevor Harris takes a knee. Corey Mace still fired up. I love it. You knew Corey Mace was going to have the Riders ready for tonight.
Yeah, and he wants to make sure the clock is run correctly. It runs all the way down here. He doesn't want to give Cody Fajardo even 10 seconds.
Trevor Harris now with a conversation with Tim Kroger. They'll blow it in again for Saskatchewan. We said earlier on something had to give tonight. The Elks were 3-0 at home. The Riders were 2-0 on the road. And it is the Elks that break as the Riders remain perfect away from Regina. As we mentioned, they will meet again in the final week of the season. And who knows what'll be on the line in that one.
The last time that Edmonton got the sweep in a back-to-back against Saskatchewan was back in the 50s.
Been a long time.
And it's going to continue.
I'll have to wait a little bit longer. Listen to the Riders crowd here in Commonwealth.
Well, hey, great job to the Edmonton fans here, too, for coming out. This is a team they can be proud of. Doesn't mean they're going to go the rest of the way without a loss here and there, but they've got a great leader in Cody Fajardo. They've got a 6-2 record now. They're still tops in the West Division, and this football team is worth coming out to watch.
The race is on at the top of the West. Calgary and Winnipeg lurking right there as well. A couple points back of the Riders. And it was Edmonton going in to Regina and picking up a win. The Riders return the favor here tonight. Not a lot separating these two clubs. Keyshawn Johnson with a clutch touchdown in this one as Saskatchewan spoils the big party here in Commonwealth. Tommy Stevens with a hat trick of touchdowns and helped seal away another one on a lightning delayed game that makes things very interesting at the top of the West. Thank you very much for joining us. Good night from Edmonton.